through the whole thing, and this is before you know what's going to happen. So, like, yeah, I mean, most people will just be like, well, I mean, I'm already here. All of my family are here watching me.
It's like running away at your wedding day, halfway down the aisle. It's like...
Exactly. And, like, but, you know, in this case, like, you have no idea what's about to happen. So, yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
Again, informed consent is not a thing within this cult, so
yeah,
it's fantastic.
So as you start to go through, they go through some of the things that you're agreeing to. That's why they say, hey, you can pull out now if you want. I'm not going to tell you what you're pulling out for, but, you know, go for gold. This is your chance.
I wish we all adopted the pull-out method.
So the first one is the law of obedience. So they're like, oh, well, Eve ate the fruit when she was told not to. So how about you guys just do what you're told, right? Cool.
And I remember there's a specific part in there just for the women where we promise to obey our husbands without, like, kind of, like, without even asking them why.
Yeah.
And it's like just specifically, it's like, all the women, please rise and lower your heads and agree to obey your husband.
Yeah.
Because Eve fucked up.
Yeah, so a couple goes to the altar, and the narrator's like, brethren and sisters, this couple represents all of you as if at the altar. You must consider yourselves as if you were respectively Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. We will put each sister under covenant to obey the Lord and to hearken to the counsel of her husband, as her husband hearkens unto the counsel of the father. Sisters, arise.
Oh.
Yeah, so, like, basically they, you know, men can receive counsel from the Lord, but women can't. Women are just expected to trust blindly their husbands and follow everything that they say as coming from God. So that's great.
Respect women.
This church, you know, values equality.
So from there, it goes from to the law of obedience to the law of sacrifice. So essentially, the law of sacrifice was given to Adam in the Garden of Eden, who, when was driven out of the garden, built an altar in which he offered sacrifices. And after many days, the angel appeared and said, "Why dost thou offer sacrifices?" And he's like, "I don't know." And so essentially you're saying that you will sacrifice your life as Jesus did if you need to. And everyone agrees to that. So it's like, yeah, I'll die if I have to. That's cool.
Yeah. No, it's I think the things the things that you covenant to sacrifice include all that we possess, even our own lives if necessary, in sustaining and defending the kingdom of God. So that's a pretty fucking big commitment. Yeah. It's insane. And then the next one that they go through are the tokens and the signs and names and all the weird handshakey stuff. Yeah.
This is it. So this is where it gets even cultier. So you start getting secret handshakes. Mm-hmm. So
again, the handshakes that you need to know for the big statue angels to get into heaven. You
have to remember these. Heaven. Like, you forget one and you're screwed. Like, even in the temple ceremony, if you forget them, like, they're kind of
embarrassing.
The veil, but if you forget them, technically you can't get through. So here's the first one. The first token of the Aaronic priesthood is given by clasping the right hands and placing the joint of the thumb directly over the first knuckle of the hand in this manner. And then the creepy old white guy demonstrates it on you as he goes around.
Oh, yeah.
The old lady's hands were always so soft, though.
They're cold.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so, like, the temple worker will go through the rows of people and basically, like, you give them the handshake, and you have to do it exactly. Like, if you misplace a finger or whatever, they'll, like, move it back into the right spot. But yeah, and
Incorrect.
there's like, yeah, and there's like 3 of them, right? So like for each, because there's like 3, like levels of the Aaronic priesthood. Am I getting that right, or is it like the
I think
first?
isn't there 4?
2. 4.
Oh, how many signs? How many signs are there?
There's
no,
at least
it's
4
two
signs.
Aaronic,
So
2 Aaronic, and 2 Melchizedek.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, so
right.
and then for each token, which is like the handshake, you have a sign and a name, and like the sign is just, like, what is it for the first one? It's like where you hold your arm, like your hand to the square.
It's your arm, not your thumb.
So this is supposed to be God. This is supposed to be God speaking.
Yeah.
Each of you make the sign of the first token of the Aaronic priesthood by bringing your right arm to the square, the palm of the hand to the front, the fingers together, and the thumb extended. This is the sign. Now repeat in your mind after me the words of the covenant. I, Hiram, think of the new name, covenant before God, angels, and these witnesses that I will never reveal the first token of the Aaronic priesthood and its accompanying name and sign. So first you've got the handshake, and then you're doing like this creepy sign where you're holding one arm up and putting another one out the front and doing it in a certain way, in a certain angle, and also remembering the name of it.
Yeah.
So then the film continues on. So you start going through, and this is one of the funny parts. So it's a really dramatic film, and you get different actors. They changed every few years, and one of them was like this opera singer, and he used to like speak in like opera voice, and and that was Lucifer. He's like, "Have you any money?" And he's like, "We have sufficient for our needs. You can buy anything in this world for money. Do you sell your tokens or signs for money? You have them, I presume." "I have them, but I do not sell them for money. I hold them sacred. I am looking for the further light and knowledge Father promised to send me." "That is right. We commend you for your integrity. Good day. We shall probably visit you again."
Imagine being Adam and Eve being told you are the only people on Earth, and then suddenly there's like 4 fucking people, and you're like,
"Where did you come from?"
What? And they're talking about money, and you're like, what the fuck is money? And like, like buying, like you can buy anything in this world for money. And it's like, bitch, what am I gonna buy? Like a wheelbarrow? There's only 2 of us.
We now have currency. Nothing has been invented.
Yeah, like clearly this was just a message like to all of the people in the room. They're just like, don't you dare fucking like sell our secrets to the news.
And it's like us 3, here you go, listen to our podcast for free. We'll tell you everything.
Yeah. No, we haven't actually broken any covenants, guys, because we're not selling them for money.
Exactly. We just give them away for free.
Yeah.
So it keeps going. So it gets like, it's really dramatic. So Satan's really dramatic. He gets to a point and he's like, you have looked over my kingdom, my greatness and glory. Now you want to take possession of the whole of it. Lucifer turns, stares into the camera. "I have a word to say concerning these people. If they do not walk up to every covenant they make at these altars in this temple this day, they will be in my power. Satan, we command you to depart." "By what authority?" It's really dramatic.
It was amazing. I always loved the Satan actors. They always did so well. I loved the short bald guy. He was my favorite.
Yeah.
I could be a Satan actor.
You should do it. Sign up. Be like, I'm already in a prostate.
I always thought that it was pretty hilarious, the whole like, have you any money? Like, no.
Where?
Because I gave it to the church.
So then you come to the second token of the Aaronic priesthood, right? And it's like, "We will now give unto you the second token of the Aaronic priesthood with its accompanying name and sign. The token is given by clasping the right hands and placing the joint of the thumb between the first and second knuckles in the hand." So that's a handshake.
Yeah.
And
then you go through a little bit more of the video, and then it's the sign for that handshake.
So the sign is made by bringing the right hand in front of you with the hand in a cupping shape, the right forearm forming a square, or the right arm forming a square, the left arm being raised to the square. This is the sign. And then
more repeating of covenants and shit.
What's the
I
sign?
think of first given name, so not your new name, so like your earth name.
Your earthly name.
Yep. I think of this first given name, solemnly covenant before God, angels, and these witnesses, that I will never reveal the second token. Wait, am I reading the right thing? Yeah. With its accompanying name and sign. That will do.
Sorry, I've been crunching my M&Ms, so I think I've finished now. Anyway, we'll keep continuing.
Didn't even share. How rude.
I'm sorry. I'm hungry. So it keeps going through. Still theatrical, and you're doing this sign and giving the names and that type of stuff. And then you move into the terrestrial world. So you go into the next room. So you're out of the theater room and in this big white room with big flowing curtains. And then first up, you learn about the law of chastity. So you get a couple that comes up to the altar and they sort of kneel down in front of the altar in front of this old white guy. And then they say, "All please arise. Each of you bring your right arm to the square, and are you and each of you covenant and promise before God, angels, and these witnesses that you'll observe and keep the law of chastity as it's been explained to you. Each of you bow your head and say yes." I don't know why you had to bow your head, though.
No. So it says here that the law of chastity, which is that each of you shall have no sexual relations except with your husband or wife to whom you are legally and lawfully wedded. Well, I'm not legally or lawfully wedded.
So, my bad.
But
you have been having those sexual relations, you sinner.
Oh, yeah.
So
We're all
now that
going to hell, guys.
Anyway, we're already in hell, so that doesn't matter. The church is coming after us, so we'll be there soon enough.
Yeah, those missionaries and their 8 phone calls. I was like, what the fuck?
In this room, I know that we are getting pretty far on with this episode, so I'll speed up a little bit. So you start to get from the Aaronic priesthood signs to the Melchizedek priesthood. So this next one, the sign is made by bringing the left hand in front of you with the hand in cupping shape, the left arm forming a square. The right arm is also brought forward, palm down, the fingers close together, and the thumb extended. This is the sign. The handshake, the token is received by bringing the right hand into this position, the hand vertical, the fingers close together, and the thumb extended, and the person giving the token places the tip of the forefinger of his right hand in the center of the palm and the thumb opposite on the back. So they use their pincers and like pinch the middle of your finger.
Like a little crabby crab.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's the third sign, or the first sign of the Melchizedek. So you do that one. And so they make the sign, and then they go through. There's no more movie. It's just like audio now. And then you go
boring.
It is. It's really
fell asleep so many times. It's so bad.
You get so tired in there because the lights are slightly dimmed.
And hungry. This goes for 2 hours total.
It's a long time. So you get to the law of consecration. So a couple comes to the altar and kneels there again. And so then they go... So essentially it's that you consecrate yourselves, your time, your talents, and everything with which the Lord has blessed you, or with which he may bless you, to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, for the building up of the kingdom of God on earth and the establishment of Zion. So you're not actually consecrating it to God. You're you're promising that you'll give the church everything.
Not God, which is one of the things that really I was like, if it's God's church, why are you promising it to the church rather than to actually God?
And here's one of the creepy things is that you've there's no consent to this beforehand, so everyone has to stand up and they're like, all right, bow your head and say yes if you agree. And it's kind of like, well, you got to.
And there's no like, okay, like if you don't agree with this, you can leave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's too late for that.
Yeah.
So then you move into the second token of the Melchizedek priesthood, the patriarchal grip or sure sign of the nail. So this one is how do they describe it? I actually remember this one. It's an easy one to do. It's like a monkey grip pretty much with your index finger.
I accidentally do it every time I shake someone's hand.
It's really funny. It's members. So the token is given by clasping the right hands, interlocking the